Read it and weep, boys. Another 100K month. Oh, I swear it feels like I have the Midas touch. I can just look at a product, point at it, say, you are a winner, and it just scales to 100K a month on repeat. It just feels like I'm stealing candy from a baby at this point. Now, if you're someone who's looking at those results and you may be just a tad jealous, I don't blame you, and you haven't gotten to a 100K month or a 50K month or even $500 in a month, then fundamentally there's just one key thing that you're missing. And today I want to give you the exact blueprint for solving that problem, because it all stems down to you not knowing how to craft winning ads. That is the number one problem nearly every dropshipper has that has not had a winning product. So what I find with the problem with most videos about dropshipping ads on the internet, on YouTube, is that they'll give you a bunch of helpful tips. They'll give you some basics on how to create ads, but no one really gives you the step-by-step of, okay, I have a product, now what do I actually do? How do I craft a winning ad from thin air? Because a lot of people are coming from the perspective of, oh, this is what you do. You need to get UGC. And those are agency owners that work with e-commerce brands doing 50K a month. You're not doing 50K a month. Or it's a dropshipper who's already making 100K a month like myself, but they're teaching you, yeah, here's the creative system I'm using now, which again, doesn't apply to you because you're a one-man or one-woman operation. I do not discriminate. So if you are one person that is right now testing dropshipping products and you need to craft winning ads and you need to do it efficiently, this can't be a process that takes you a week to 2 weeks to just make ads, because again, it is a numbers game at the end of the day. This is something I preach so often. 90% of products, even when you do everything right, are still going to fail. So we need to try to test as many products as possible at a high quality level so that we can learn faster, iterate faster, and get our first winning product as fast as possible before you inevitably give up. Because let's be honest, if you're testing products for a year and nothing happens, rightfully so, you're probably going to move on. So here's the exact process that I like to follow. First off, when I have any product, and let's say, for instance, instead of doing the water bottle example that I've done 9 gazillion times, if you ever watch these raw videos, let's say we're selling a problem-solving product like a hand massager. That's actually an example of a product I found pretty recently. Now, if I was selling a hand massager, I'm not someone who's ever been in the market for that. So the first thing I like to do is make sure I never assume who my audience is, what their benefits that they care about is, and what problems they have. I never want to make any assumptions. I am a blank slate. I am a sponge that is going to go on the internet, do my research, and absorb everything that I'm learning. And then I can put myself in the shoes of my customer. Because the ultimate goal when you have a product that you like is, now I need to get into the shoes of my customer. What makes them tick? What are the desires they truly have? The deep desires. What are the benefits they care about? And why do those benefits actually matter? What are the use cases? The more relatable we can be, and the more we can relate it to their personal life and how they can use it in their life, the better our ad is going to be. So step by step, the first step to crafting winning ads is you need to understand your market. Now, how do you understand your market in an efficient amount of time? I use a few different ways. First off, you need to create a Word document. Open a new Word document for every product you're going to test. Now, if you're doing a non-problem solving product like clothing, just honestly turn off your brain. You don't even need to watch this video, because be honest, clothing is just get images, upscale images, change backgrounds with AI using Photo Room, throw images on Facebook ads, and then you just see what happens. It's all product based. It's based on the design. If people like the design, they're going to buy. If they don't like the design, they're not going to buy. There's not much you can do to convince them otherwise. All right. For a problem solving product, first thing, open a new Word document. Do it right now. Label it the name of your product. And then what you need to do is gather. You are a hunter and a gatherer. You are gathering all the resources you can. And then with those resources, you're going to mold them together. You're going to cut the fat. And that's what you're going to use for the basis of your marketing. So we need to first gather all the information we can about our audience. Now, where do we look? What are those honey holes? Well, I want to always start with Amazon reviews. Look up your product in Amazon reviews. It could be the exact listing. That's the ideal scenario. Or it could be for similar products in the market that also basically do the exact same function. Read those reviews. Read 50 reviews. Read 100 reviews. Copy over the top reviews. Copy over the lines you see over and over and over again. So for a hand massager, it could be, I have arthritis pain and this helps soothe it. Or I have a long day at work and this helps soothe my hands. Or this is just something I use as a spa day. Or it's an alternative to going to a massage therapist, a masseuse, and I have my own personal masseuse at home. What are the common phrases, problems, and benefits that are getting mentioned over and over and over again. If you do the research, you are going to notice the trends. That's the whole point of research. Notice those trends. Now, once you do that, next step, read comments on videos of your product on YouTube, on TikTok, on Instagram. You can also do Reddit as well, going through Reddit threads. Sometimes those exist, sometimes those don't. Read the comments and again, do the same thing. Notice the benefits, notice the problems. But most importantly, because people on social media are usually more negative, what are the objections? Why are people saying they don't like this product? Why are people saying they don't want to buy? Because when you know why they won't buy, then you can come up with copy that handles those objections. So if someone says they're not going to buy because, oh, it's too expensive, then all right, that's something we need to mention in our ad. Here's why this hand massager is a much better deal than the alternative products that cost hundreds of dollars going to a masseuse or taking pain meds that also damage your kidney or your liver or whatever it is. Why is it better than the alternatives? That's something we have to address in our ads, but we would have never known to address it if we didn't do the research. So you need to know, what are those objections? And people are going to be brutally honest in ads. If you go on TikTok, if you go on YouTube, they're going to tell you why they wouldn't want to buy. Note those down. Finally, from there, take a look at your competitors. Take a look at their ads. Take a look at their product descriptions. Copy over their best lines, their headlines. Notice what they're doing in their ads. What are the frameworks they're continually testing? What are the messaging that they're saying in their ads that seems to be working because their ads have been running for over 2 weeks and are gathering a lot of impressions? Note those down. Note the trends. And once you do all of that, then you can finally begin the process of creating a winning ad. Because now you understand your market. Now, the final thing I do in the marketing side of things when I'm doing my research is I do have a ChatGPT prompt. It's an amazing ChatGPT prompt. The best ChatGPT prompt in the world. I can't do a Trump impression. It's huge. It's enormous. It's the greatest thing you've ever seen. Fuck, I suck at that. Okay, I'm sorry. Now, with this ChatGPT prompt, I basically will put in 10 to 15 reviews from my research into this prompt, and then I will ask ChatGPT 12 questions. Who is my target audience? What are the benefits that matter to them? What problems do they have? What are the use cases that matter to them? And a variety of other questions. Now, if you want access to this prompt, it is by far the thing that saves me the most amount of time and helps me craft winning ads and descriptions. It is arguably the most useful ChatGPT prompt I've ever used because it easily helps me generate thousands every single month. Comment ChatGPT down below and I'll send that to you for free. Your boy's got you. The E-Dog, Uncle E. Hey, when you watch these videos and you actually watch them to 8 minutes in, which is a random point in the video, you get these cool little call to actions, these little Easter eggs. That's my little thank you for watching these videos. Now, after I use that ChatGPT prompt, I will move over all the research, all the data into this one Word document. And when you do all this, you should have a document that's probably around 10 to 15 pages long. Just because you moved over lines. You haven't even written anything on your own. You just copied and pasted all these lines from the internet and from ChatGPT. Now, once you do that, the next step is you need to come up with a plan of attack. We can't just go head on. We got a Trojan horse. We got to hit them from different angles. This is the art of war, son. So when it comes to marketing a product, what the typical dropshipper is going to do is they're going to rip the top performing ads. They'll test 3 ads, launch a CBO, and if those ads don't work, we move on. It was the product's fault. It couldn't possibly have been my ad strategy that was absolutely piss poor and had no thought process behind it whatsoever. Or me being incredibly lazy and just doing the absolute bare minimum. No, it couldn't have been that. It was that. So when it comes to coming up with an effective plan of attack, I always want to test every product to give it the best chance of working by testing 4 frameworks, 4 unique angles, however you want to say it. That could be problem solution. That could be how to. That could be a social proof mashup ad. That could be 3 reasons why. But 4 different ways that we're saying the messaging. Because the reality is, for most products, they're going to have 1 or 2 real big messaging points, but you can say those messaging points in a variety of different ways. So let's say our hand massager helps you with arthritis pain. I could say that in a problem solution ad. I could say that in a how-to ad. I could say that in a 3 reasons why, in a social proof mashup. All these frameworks will have similar messaging, but it's just different ways of presenting that messaging. Because the problem solution would be, hey, if you're dealing with arthritis pain, then watch this video. And that's a pretty weak headline, but a weak hook. But that's something, because at least you call it your target audience and you create some curiosity because they're like, yeah, why do I need to watch this video? So that could be the hook for the problem solution ad. For the how-to ad, Here's how to get rid of arthritis pain, or here's how to get rid of arthritis pain without expensive medicine or masseuses. Or here's an at-home solution to get rid of arthritis pain. That's just a slightly different way of wording it, but you won't know what's going to resonate with your audience until you try out these different frameworks. And then again, 3 reasons why. 3 reasons why I love using this hand massager to cure or heal my arthritis pain. Social proof mashup. That would be just gathering multiple clips from multiple creators. So if I had a really good clip from a creator where she was like, I have never felt so much better about my arthritis pain, or my hands have never felt so much better after a long day of work, that could be the hook right there. But it's all presenting the information, the messaging, the problems, the solutions in different formats because you don't know what format's going to work. So that's where you start. What are the frameworks we're going to try? Have 4 different frameworks. Now, with those frameworks, there's also different ways you can present it because you could do the presentation in a video format or in an image format. Typically, when I test, 2 of my frameworks are going to be videos, 2 of my frameworks are going to be images because that's also something that's worth a split test. Are images working better for this product or is it videos? Now, obviously, if you're testing on TikTok, you have to do videos, so ignore that point. But I primarily love Facebook. Facebook is where I am scaling. All of my brands are doing over 50K a month right now. Facebook, 100%. I'm not seeing anywhere near the same results on TikTok. Now, does TikTok still work? Of course. I'm seeing it primarily, though, work for cheaper products, usually clothing products, than non-problem solvers, the more visual products. So when I'm testing a problem-solving product, like that hand massager, and this is all off the top of the dome here. I have not done any research into this product. This is just me kind of doing my thing. How I'd start is I do my market research. Then I picked my 4 frameworks. 2 of those will be image ads. 2 of those will be video ads in terms of the frameworks. And that might have been a little confusing. 4 frameworks. 2 of them are presented as videos. 2 of them are presented as images. Now, after that, I want to make 4 ads for each framework. That means 4 problem solution ads, 4 how-to ads, 4 3 reasons why ads, 4 social proof mashup. So that means a total of 16 ads. Now, the bare minimum, I'll do 12 ads, so 3 for each one. And when it comes to that next, then we have to get into how do you script these ads? Do we, when we're making the 4 ads, only change out one variable, like changing out the hook? So we have basically a base problem solution ad, but then we make 3 variations of it where we have different hooks. Is that how you do it, Ethan? I don't know. And I'm never going to tell you. I'm going to keep this to my grave. You're never going to learn how I actually test products. Why would I tell you how I make $100K a month when I can just use it to make more hundreds of thousands of dollars every single month? I guess I'm just that much of a good guy. What can I say? So altruistic. I just want to spread down the knowledge to the next generation of great dropshippers. If you actually do use this and apply it. Sorry, I'm in a silly, goofy mood today. A little bit of a silly goose. Now, after you've chosen your frameworks and you now know you need to make 3 to 4 ads for each one, when it comes to scripting, I ideally want each ad to feel different from each other. And I find that when you just split test the hook, it doesn't create enough of a difference in performance for me to justify only changing that. While hook variations are important, and yes, it can make somewhat of a difference, I find in the beginning, though, the biggest way to know what messaging is going to work is that when I'm making my problem solution, so let's just go to that framework. So problem solution, we need to make 4 problem solution ads. I ideally, with all these 4, I want them to have different hooks. So problem solution ad 1 has a certain hook. Problem solution ad 2 has a different hook. Problem solution ad 3 has a different hook. Problem solution ad 4 has a different hook. So they all have different hooks that we're trying out. Then the final 2 components of an ad is the body and the call to action. And for the body and call to action, I also want to make that slightly different. Now for a problem solution ad, and when I talk about frameworks, they all follow a sequence. That's why they're frameworks. So a problem solution ad usually is the hook is a problem, the second clip is aggravating that problem, the third clip is introing your product, and the 4th and 5th clip are usually benefits, testimonials, something of that nature. Then the 6th clip to 7th clip is usually a call to action. I will follow that framework, that way of presenting the information for all 4 of those problem solution ads. That's going to stay the same. But the hook text, the messaging will be different among all 4 of those ads. The second clip of aggravating the problem will be different, slightly different. It doesn't have to be a completely different problem, but it could be just a different way of messaging that. So as an example, let's say my hook for one of these problem solutions ad is, if you are dealing with constant arthritis pain in your hands, then watch this video. So that could be one. Next problem could be, if your hands are aching every single day from arthritis pain, then this solution, or then this video is made for you, or then you need to try out this miracle massager. I know that's a little bit long. That's just off the top of my head. But those are two different hooks. But they're both saying the same problem of if you deal with arthritis pain, okay? But it's slightly different ways of messaging that. Now, the second clip of aggravating a little bit more, that's usually you trying to be relatable and talking from the first person perspective. So if we go back to our first ad, again, this is off the top of my head. If you are dealing with arthritis pain, then you need to watch this video. I used to struggle when I came back from home after a long day of work with my arthritis pain, always nagging me or always leaving me in constant agony. So that's the second clip. Now, in this next ad, if you, after a long day of work, are dealing with arthritis pain, then you need this miracle massager. Okay, so that's the hook on this one. Then that aggravation in the second clip, again, just do it slightly differently. Just say it in a slightly different way. But it's, again, same perspective of try to make it relatable. Try to have one of those scenarios that you saw in your reviews. Because if you did reviews, if you read the reviews on Amazon, people are going to tell you why they bought the product, and try to be it in the most relatable way. They're going to talk about their personal experience. You want to use those personal experiences in that second clip. So maybe someone else's personal experience was, I had a desk job where I was constantly typing, and my hands after the end of my day would always be in constant agony or constant pain. So again, just a slightly different way. So hopefully you're getting the gist of it. The framework of problem solution is always the same. It is a hook that's a problem, aggravate it, intro, benefits, use cases, call to action. But we want to say it in all four of those ads in a slightly different way. So all the hooks are slightly different. All the second clips are slightly different. All the product intros are slightly different. All the benefits are slightly different, but it's essentially the same idea. We're just saying that idea in different ways to see what messaging resonates with our audience, because you don't know until you split test. So when I'm making my 4 ads, I first need to figure out the scripting. So usually in the scripting, I'll figure out, okay, in the hook, what's the idea I want to get across? It's calling out my target audience who has arthritis pain. Now, what are 4 different ways I can call out my target audience with arthritis pain? Cool. Those are my 4 hooks. All right. The next clip is aggravating it. How can I show the pain, the problem in a relatable way? All right, here's 4 different ways I can do that. And that's going to be the 4 different next clips for aggravating. For product intro, what are 4 different ways that I can introduce my product? Cool. That's going to be the ways we do it. Then benefits. All right, the first benefit is you can soothe your arthritis pain. What's 4 different ways I can say that? What's 4 different ways I could say that it's like a spa day at home, or it relaxes me, it soothes me? How can I say that in 4 different ways? And if there's any other benefits, again, I'd have to do the research. Then I would say, how can I say that in 4 different ways? Call to action. How can I say it in 4 different ways? And then those are going to be the 4 ads I make for problem solution. Then when I go to my next one, how to, it's the same process. Now, that's how I do it on the video ad side, because you do have to script things. But when you're doing your image ad templates, it's going to be a lot quicker, because I know that process I just explained to you is very, very much detailed. It takes a good amount of work. There's no doubt about that. Scripting takes time. It takes usually a few hours. You can't skip that. Now, when it comes to image ads, let's say I wanted to do 2 types of frameworks: a benefit call out framework and a social proof framework. So what I would do is I would go and I'd ideally have templates of different benefit. So like for me, in my one-on-one program and just in general, I have about a swipe folder for every single image ad framework I'd ever want to test. So for benefit call out, I have 30 different frameworks that I can just click on and then just edit the image right there. So I would choose 4 image templates for benefit call out, and then I'd edit each one to have slightly different messaging. So a slightly different headline, a slightly different visual, slightly different messaging for those benefits. And then I'd test those. So that would be benefit call. For social proof, I'd have 4 different testimonials on the image. I'd have 4 different images of my product on there, 4 different backgrounds, just to, again, split test it. But it's all the same framework. It's just slightly different variations, so that when we identify a winner, then we can isolate what were the elements of it that made it perform. Okay, so we tested 4 benefit call out ads. The one that worked had this headline, this unique headline. So let's use that headline and apply it to other variations. So we can use that headline, and let's say, so for instance, we had 4 image ads. One had a red background, one had a blue background, one had a purple background, one had a white background. We noticed on the ad that worked, it had a certain headline, and it was the white background ad. Well, we want to isolate, why did that ad work? Okay, let's move that headline and then apply it to the purple background and the red background ad. and see if those ads can now work with that new headline. Or we can do another version of, let's keep the white background, but then change and use the headlines from the other ads on the white background one and see if that's what it was. This is where you split test. This is where you make variations. This is where you learn. The whole point of creative testing is to learn. Try out and split test a bunch of different elements. This is why we're making the video ads. We split test the hooks, the aggravation, the benefits, the clips. The clip should also feel a little different. That's another variable we haven't even talked about. Because when you throw these ads and you get some spend on them, you need to isolate what is working and then double down on that. And the more things you split test, the more things you can identify as winning elements that you can apply to the rest of your ads. So hopefully that makes sense. So when it comes to the scripting process, how do I actually script my ads? Again, it's just doing research. It's just having ideally frameworks. So I have a list of 50 to 100 different hook frameworks where I can just plug in my product and the problem or the benefit and then try that out. So that makes things easier. I also have ChatGPT prompts where, okay, this is a problem solution ad, and then I can plug in example scripts that are problem solution oriented, and then I can say, here's my product, here are the main benefits, here's the main problems. ChatGPT whips something up. It'll whip something up that's like 70% of the way there, and then I just edit it to make it sound more personable and human. The one problem I see with most people with scripting is a lot of times they'll have lines that just don't really have much of a purpose. And when it comes to scripting ads, WIFM is the most important thing. What's in it for me? Every single line should apply to your customer. It should relate to them. So if you have a line that really doesn't matter to them, like calling out a feature, get rid of it. You need to be brutal. You want to keep this fast paced. Now, some ads can be 60 seconds long. That's no problem. But if every single clip has to serve a purpose, every single line needs to further progress your customer into understanding why they have a problem, why your product's the best solution, and here are the benefits and why you need the product. It all needs to flow. Some ads need to be longer. When you're explaining a health product, for instance, those ads do need to be longer. And if you're doing a very self-explanatory product, then it should be short and simple. Keep it to the point. But you have to split test. So when it comes to scripting, what's in it for me? Have different templates available. Have frameworks for each line, because you should be able to break down frameworks and what makes up the frameworks. And it's always, here's the problems, here's the benefits, use cases, call to actions, hooks. It's really just those main elements. So you should have frameworks for saying each one of those lines. And then from there, it's just practice. But you want to try to keep things relatable. I find a lot of people when they script, they do it from a third person perspective. It sounds like a brand talking to you. Your ads, I think this is one of the biggest golden nuggets you can get from this, if you're still here. Your ads should not feel like a brand or a company is talking to you. It should feel like a friend is talking to you. Imagine you were trying to sell this product to a friend. I can guarantee you wouldn't be saying, oh, this is going to get you 25% more energy. We guarantee it's going to do X, Y, and Z. No, you'd be saying, yeah, when I tried out this product, I actually enjoyed working out again. Like, it gave me more energy than I've ever had. It makes working out easy for me. Not, oh, I got 25% more energy. Like, what the fuck does that even mean? Be relatable. Be human. And this is why we read the Amazon reviews. This is why we comb through the comment sections and dig these reviews up so that we can come up with lines. Just use the lines that people are telling you. Just re-engineer it. Reverse engineer it. Use those lines. You don't really have to come up with anything yourself if you've done the due diligence and gathered all these resources and lines of copy. You just need to know when to use them. That's why it's so important to do the digging. Now, the final things. When you're doing your scripting, you need to know who your target audience is. So when you did your research process, you should already have a great idea as to, here are the main target audiences I have. Maybe I have one main target audience, maybe I have two. Usually for most products, you're gonna have 2 to 3. Then you need to understand, what's their age demographic. Are they older? Are they younger? Or is it appealing to everyone? Because that's gonna impact the clips you find. Because if your product's mainly for younger females, then you should only have clips of younger females. If it's for older males, then it should be clips of just older males talking throughout the ad and visuals of them. So that's going to affect your visuals that you're choosing. Now, when you're editing your ad, so once you have your script done, you need to find content, B-roll, that visually shows the lines that you're saying in your script in the most engaging way. So have engaging visuals. Comb through TikTok, comb through Amazon reviews, because there's video reviews on there. Comb through Manea. Manea is also a great tool for this. Comb through PP ads, comb through YouTube. There's so many different places. Your supplier, all these places, gather the best content. You need content for each thing. You need 5 clips for the problems. You need 5 clips at least for the benefits. You need 5 clips of product intro and product demo. You need 5 clips of different hooks that showcase the problem or the main benefit or transformation or before and after, whatever it is of your product. You need to have B-roll clips available for every single part of the ad. So that way, what am I going to say? You can split test it. Because let's say there's a hook that's working really well for you. And that is, if you have arthritis pain, you need to check out this miracle massager. That is the line that's working. But what visual works the best with that? Is it showing someone in pain with arthritis? Is it showing a shot of the product itself? Is it having a UGC person actually read this, like say the line out loud directly to the camera and then showing the product in their hand? You don't know until you split test. But you isolated the one variable, which is good, that this messaging works, but we now need to know what visual works. And then adding another layer to that, you need to have a text hook on screen that also, and this is just me getting into hooks now, to create an engaging hook. I know this video is so much all over the place. I can rant for days about this. I really can. When it comes to creating engaging hooks, you need to understand what's your viewer's before state, what's their dream state, what time frame do they want to get the results, what pain points do they have. You have to understand all these things because that's what you're going to call out in your hooks. So for viewer before state, you could say, if you struggle with this and you want desired result in certain time frame, here's what you do. Or you can call out the pain point. So it could be, this is why girls don't find you attractive and how you can solve that with one quick exercise tool. That's going to create curiosity because you don't know the solution, but it's been pitched to you that there is a solution. So you need to have hooks that are specific. The problem with most hooks is that people either have a boring visual, they have a script that doesn't call out their audience, it's too generic, or it doesn't open a curiosity loop. Why should I watch your video? When you watch YouTube videos like this or YouTube Shorts, a lot of times in the hook, they have a benefit or a payoff in the first few seconds. When I hooked you in this video, I said, this is exactly how I create my winning ads to get to 100K a month. That is why you're watching, because you want to learn, how do I get to 100K a month? That is your desired result. So I called out your desired result. I identified your current situation of you're struggling and you have a problem. And then I pitched to you that there is a solution. And that's going to be by learning my exact framework. I hooked you. Inception. You're living in the Matrix. Wake up, Mr. Anderson. You gotta learn. Are you going to take the red pill or are you going to take the blue pill? And do you want to see how far this rabbit hole truly goes? Dropshipping isn't even real. This is all a facade. I'm not even real. I'm a figment of your imagination. You've actually been locked up in Arkham Asylum for years now, in a white room. You haven't had any contact with your family in years. I'm sorry, I'm going off on tangents. I'm sorry. All right, so recap with hooks. Hooks, engaging visual, script that calls out your target audience and is very specific, and then a hook text on screen that also adds more curiosity. So you'll notice, let's say for instance, I have, the arthritis as the script. So if you have arthritis pain, then you need to check out this miracle massager. Again, that's a weak hook, but that's the script. Then you have a visual showcasing that. Then you want to have a hook text at the top of the video that's also is another hook in itself. So you have 2 hooks, which could be, this is a miracle cure to anyone with arthritis pain. Or if you have arthritis pain, this video will save your life, or this video will save you years of pain. So that's 2 hooks going on. So 2 opportunities, 2 shots, 2 rolls of the dice to hook someone in to watch the next clip. That's the whole purpose of the hook. Set up the premise, set up the payoff, or set up here's the problem you have. And you have to split test that multiple times to figure out what hook is going to work the most. In a lot of cases, you're kind of just future pacing. This is what the video is going to be about if you stick long enough. Here's the promise. Here is what you're going to get out. This is why the video is worth watching if you stick around to the end. That is all the hook does. You don't give people the answer, and that's a problem with a lot of hooks. A lot of beginners will already give people the answer. They'll say, this product will help solve your arthritis pain. It's like, okay, cool. Thanks for the statement. I'm going to keep watching another video. I'm just going to keep scrolling because you already gave me the ending of the movie before it even started. Don't give me the ending of the movie. Set up the stakes. Set up the promise. Set up here's what's going to happen. My best performing ad of all time was a pheromone perfume ad where I got 17 million views. And all I did in the hook was said, was say, testing this pheromone perfume out on a night out with my girls. That's all I said. She put on the product. She went out. Guys started hitting on her. That was the whole video. And that became my best performing ad of 2023. And all I did in the hook was I set up the stakes. I didn't get people to answer. People wanted to know. And that should be the feeling someone has after they see your hook. They should have a burning desire in their brain to, I have to watch this video to now know how it ends. I have to know what that solution is. I have to know how this conflict resolves. And if you're not setting up stakes in your hook, if you're not setting up, here's what's going to happen, or let's see what happens, and people are not asking themselves what, why, or what happens next, then you didn't create enough of a curiosity loop. You didn't spark their curiosity, and people are going to keep scrolling, and your products are going to keep flopping, even though it's not the product's fault. It's because you have weak hooks, and your hooks are 80% of your ad. I wanted to get into a few final points, but this video is already getting long enough, and I can already feel you starting to drone off as you are working out at the gym, or you're driving in your car, listening to me rant and babble for on and on and on about ads. The final thing you have to do is, once you test all these ads, so when I make these 16 ads and I throw them up and I test them, you need to know certain metrics, and you need to know how to make variations. So for metrics, for video ads, the only metrics that really matter is, are you profitable? Are you making sales? CPA. Now, if you're not making sales, or if you are making sales, then the next thing you need to do is break down why is that ad working, or why is it not working. So what I use to diagnose my ads, like a doctor, is hook rate, hold rate, CTR, and cost per link click. Hook rate. How many people are watching your hook? It should be at least 40% of people. And your hook rate is just the total views divided by 2-second video views or 3-second video views. It's somewhere along those lines. Actually, it's the other way around. So 3-second video views divided by total video views. So if I had 1,000 3-second video plays and 4,000 total views, then I have a 25% hook rate, which is bad. You want it to be 40%. Hold rate. How many people actually watch the entire ad after watching your hook? So total video plays at 100% divided by 3-second video plays. So if I had 100 people that finished my ad and 400 people that watched my hook, that means I have a 25% hold rate. Hold rate, if it's above 10 to 15%, is really solid. So in that case, that would have been a great ad. CTR, typically you want this to be above 2%. If it's below 2%, it can still work. It's not, again, these are soft metrics. Hook rate, hold rate, CTR, cost per link click are soft metrics. They're not hard metrics. Hard metrics are the most important ones, which is your CPA. Because if your CPA is good, then it really doesn't matter if you have, I have a 30% hook rate. Who cares? Your ad's profitable. Obviously, that gives you an indication you can make the ad even better by trying out more hooks to get more people to watch the entire ad, because clearly that ad's getting people to convert when they do watch. So let's obviously make variations, and that's why these soft metrics matter, because they can tell you what you should be doing next. But CPA is the most important thing. Are we profitable? But CTR 2%, and then cost per link click, I usually want this to be below $1, ideally below 75 cents if possible. In a lot of cases, you have to learn how to be profitable with link clicks around 80 to 90 cents. That's pretty standard. And then once you know these numbers, and let's say you're not hitting those metrics, then you need to make changes. So hook rate and hold rate are usually the best indications, because let's say we have an ad and the hook rate's 50% and the hold rate's 20%. That's a crazy good ad. People are watching the hook and they're watching the ad, but we're still not profitable. What does that mean? I'm going to give you a second to answer that in your head. Well, what that means is that the framework you chose is not convincing people enough to buy the product. It is not pre-selling people, because they watch the entire ad and yet people don't feel sold. They don't feel this desire to click onto your website or buy. So that's a fundamental problem with either the copywriting, your script, or the framework. Because you got people to watch, but was that framework the right one to convince them why they need your product? And that's another key thing here, because when you test with 4 different frameworks, let's say with only video ads, certain frameworks are going to have a higher conversion rate than others. My problem solution ads might have a conversion rate of 2%, but my how-to ads have a conversion rate of 6%, which means that is the winning framework, the how-to ad. I need to make more how-to ads and then just figure out new hooks, new variations, etc. And that's why we test with so many different frameworks in the first place, because you don't know what framework, because again, all these frameworks are going to have similar messaging. It's just different ways of presenting the messaging. And you need to find out what framework gets people to buy, pre-sells them the most. And you just need to figure out what's your conversion rate. So purchases divided by unique link clicks. If I got 10 purchases and 100 unique link clicks, then my ad had a 10% conversion rate. So that's another metric that does matter as well. And then from there, you just keep making variations. Now, I could have a whole video about how to build a creative team and like how my process really is done. But I think I want to do a full tutorial video where I can show you visuals, because that's going to be a really visually intensive process with a lot of SOPs. If you want that video, comment down below ads, and I will make that video.